Greetings everyone, welcome to the Infidel Chronicles first video. It is a tabletop review and what I hope will be one of many. This is the Urban Patriot here, and we're going to be going over what I believe to be one of the most iconic firearms of the modern age. For the last about 30 years it has been the standard issue sidearm of the United States Army and the United States Marine Corps. It replaced the 1911 back in the early 80s and is probably one of the most widely recognized designs, whether you realize it or not. You've seen this weapon in several movies, TV series. It seems to be one of the most popular on-screen firearms in history. Of course, we're talking about the Beretta M9. Now, there are several variants of this. Beretta makes the 92 FS and the 92 obviously comes out of Italy. This is a type M9A1 made here in the United States. The M9A1 came about when the Marine Corps and the rest of the United States military decided they needed a new firearm besides the 1911. They felt the 1911 was an antiquated design. They needed something more durable, more rugged, more reliable, especially in the types of environments that they were operating in. So in the early 1980s, Beretta came out with this design. It has a external ambidextrous safety on either side. Obviously, the weapon is safe. The chamber is clear. It has no magazine in it. It is hammer fired, and it has a decocking mechanism, which I think is really nice. If you push down on the safety, obviously it's ambidextrous, you push down on the safety, it rotates the little firing pin mechanism there, and it can put the hammer down on a live round safely. You can carry it this way and then take the safety off. It is double action, single action, so it has a very long trigger pull on the first shot. The secondary shots, the follow-up shots are very nice. It has a very nice trigger pull to it. We'll go over some of the specs here. It is, like I said, a single double action. It has a just under 5-inch barrel length, so at 4.9 inches. It is chambered in the 9mm or 9x19. It's got a 1.3-inch width on the grip. It feels kind of bulky when you first look at it and when you first put it into your hand, although it does feel really good. For being a double stack 9mm, it holds 15 rounds, 15 plus 1. So it does seem a bit bulky at first, but other than that, I believe this to be probably one of the most comfortable handguns I've ever held. The overall height is about 5.5 inches, so it is pretty tall. The width, you're looking at maybe 1.5 inches. It's not very thick. It's not very wide, which is nice. This can be fired, like I said, single action, double action, but it can also be fired without the magazine. So it's very important that if you have small children in the house, or if you have other people who are very unfamiliar with firearms, that you do store this in a safe manner. Unless you're going to be carrying it every day, I'd recommend obviously putting a lock on it, putting it up very, very safely. The weight unloaded, 33.9, 34 ounces. It's a pretty heavy firearm, to be honest with you. A lot of people aren't going to be able to carry this comfortably. It's going to be pretty heavy, but you know, I think you'd get used to it just like you would anything else. Smaller people wouldn't be able to carry this concealed inside the waistband. I think it's going to be more of an everyday outside the waistband carry firearm. So let's get down to the brass tacks here. I just got back from the range. I acquired this gun this morning. It is not new, but it is new to me. So I took it out. Growing up, this was what I thought a firearm should be and was. I remember seeing it in movies. I remember seeing it on TV, and really just fell in love with the design. I really like the design, and this is what, you know, I imagined that a gun would and should be. So I'm very excited to have this in my collection now. Took it out to the range. I put 100 rounds through it. Fed flawlessly. I chose cheaper Monarch brand brass, 115 grain full metal jacket ammo, just to make sure that it would fire some of the cheaper ammo, and it did. It ran flawlessly. And I think a lot of that has to do really with the design. It has a fixed barrel. Like I said, it's 5.5 inch fixed barrel, but because of that fixed barrel, it virtually eliminates failure to feed and failure to eject, because with the limited barrel movement, it feeds flawlessly. I'll say that. The feed ramp is not polished. I haven't done anything to it. I brought it home. I took it apart. I ran some cleaning solvent down the barrel, oiled it up, ran my silicone cloth over the top of it, put it in a box, and took it to the range. And it was very accurate. I was at 25 feet, and I was shooting 2-inch groups at 25 feet with a firearm that I've never held, I've never fired before. So honestly, for a first round, that's pretty good for me. Anyways, some of the other safety features, like I said, it has an ambidextrous safety, so you have one on each side. It is a decocking mechanism at the same time, so you have one on the left-hand side of the weapon, you have one on the right-hand side of the weapon, and it will, I know it's uncomfortable, it's a little unnerving at first, but it will drop the hammer safely on a live round without firing it. You can then disengage the safety and carry this weapon chambered, ready to go, condition 1, in a double action only mode. Now, the trigger pull on this, it's heavy. You have to mean to pull the trigger on this firearm. I would probably say at least a 5-pound trigger pull, and it does have quite a bit of travel. We'll see here. It's not a very short trigger pull, and it's going and going and finally breaks. Now, when this firearm cycles, you fire that first round, hammer drops. The firearm cycles. The reset on this is actually really nice. You will be rewarded after having to do that really long first shot. You'll be rewarded on your secondary shots. It just reset. I probably let this go no more than a 1/16 of an inch, and now you have your secondary shot, which is very soft. Firearm will cycle again, and we'll listen for the reset. Right there. So it doesn't take much at all to reset the trigger on me. And then again, it's a soft second shot. All in all, I'm very happy. I'm very impressed with the quality of this firearm. I know that a lot of work and a lot of effort went into designing this for the United States military. Some other features of this I thought were interesting were the magazines. It is a double stack, 15-round magazine. Nothing really special about it except for the coating. This is called a PDV coating, I believe, and it stands for something that I can't pronounce. But basically what it is these magazines are coated to withstand the fine sand and grit of desert warfare. They were having some problems with the early versions of this back in the mid to late 80s. There was sand getting into the mechanism here, and it was binding the magazines to where they wouldn't eject properly, and they wouldn't, the firearms wouldn't cycle. And so the United States gave Beretta an ultimatum, said basically you need to figure out how to fix this weapon or we're not going to use it, and all the effort that you've gone through will have been for nothing. So they did fix it. They came up with a coating for the magazines. The magazines do eject and feed very reliably. I'm very happy with these magazines. 15 rounds, it's a lot, but then again it isn't. For a military service weapon, it probably, 15 rounds is decent, especially compared to the 1911 where you only get, a handful. But on the private market, there's handguns out there that hold a lot more. 17 rounds, 17 plus 1. You can get extended magazines for, obviously, your Glocks and your Springfields that'll hold up to 30 rounds. But, for what this is and the capabilities of this firearm, you can shoot reliably 3-inch groups at 50 yards with this firearm with standard iron sights, no mods, no red dot scopes, no anything else, continuously and repeatedly with no problems. This firearm is accurate, it's reliable, and that's really all you can really ask for. I love the design, I love the look, I love the lines. It's not a shoebox like some of the other guns that you'll see out there, the Glocks and the Springfields. You know, I like them. They're reliable. They're great manufactured. A lot of stuff goes into them. But when you think of what a gun is, 9 times out of 10, people are going to recognize the Beretta M9 just because of movies and television, if nothing else, over any other firearm, maybe besides a Glock. So I put 100 rounds through this. I haven't cleaned it. I just brought it home and decided I was going to make a tabletop review, and I'm very impressed. I'm very happy to have acquired this. The reason they were having some problems with this early on, the United States military, is that the U.S. made 9mm loads that were hotter than the standard NATO loads. And I think that's where a lot of the Beretta M9's bad reputation back then came from. It wasn't from a design flaw. It wasn't from a lack of craftsmanship or quality. It was just lack of communication, really. The U.S. had certain specs that they liked their ammo at, and Beretta, being an Italian company at the time, they didn't have any U.S. markets, any U.S. plants. They made their firearms specs to lighter rounds, and you know, they got it figured out. It's a great firearm. Takedown is extremely easy. Just eject the magazine here. It has a takedown lever here on the side that swings down. Well, on this other side, you'll have a push button that will actually release that mechanism. So we'll go ahead and we'll take this down real quick so you can see how easy it is to take down and put back together. You lock the slide back, push the button on the side, and you swing the lever down. That actually unlocks the barrel. You then release the slide, and it comes off. You have your barrel, your spring, and everything right there, ready to field strip. Very easy to clean, very easy to take apart, and putting it back together really is easy as well. I know sometimes certain firearms can become quite complicated when you go to put them back together. I've had firearms that it's taken literally minutes to take down and put back together, just for the simple fact that they weren't very, weren't very user friendly. And then all you have to do is put it back together, pop that pin up, release your slide, drop your hammer, insert your magazine, and again you're ready to go. So literally, I can take the weapon down, put it back together, trying in under 30 seconds. If I had something go wrong with it, I can take this apart in the field, put it back together, clean it, service it with no problems. Very resistant to corrosion. The Brenneton finish that they've put on these weapons is extremely resistant to sweat, corrosion, rust. These are very durable weapons. They are made to be abused. They are made to be in service for an extremely long time. You can fire thousands and thousands of rounds through these firearms without them having any type of failure whatsoever in manufacturing. You may get the occasional jam because of cheap ammo. You may get a squib round every now and then, just like I said, just because of the ammo. But as far as a manufacturing standpoint, this is probably one of the most reliable firearms on the market, just because of what it is and who made it. They've modified the front of the trigger guard so you can use it easier. It's flat now. It used to be curved and serrated. Now it's flat. I actually do like the flat trigger guard a lot better because it makes it easier to, for me anyway, to hold it in what they call, a combat grip with your finger forward. So all in all, I'm extremely happy with this. It was fairly accurate for what I was shooting. I'm not the most accurate marksman in the world, but for what it is, it's a great firearm. I'm extremely happy with it, and if I can find a holster to fit it, I'll probably be carrying this every day. Um, it will replace my other everyday carry, or at least be in the rotation for everyday carry. Um, so again, I'm extremely happy with it. I haven't found anything that I really don't like about it. Like I said, I fell in love with this firearm at a very early age, so I don't have anything bad to say about it. It does have Torx key grip screws, so you will need that if you want to change the grips on it to anything other than the black standard plastic. And it also does have a lanyard uh, hole here for combat situations, or if you're out in the field, you can strap it to yourself, and if you drop it, you won't lose it, basically. The accessory rail is convenient as well. You can put lights on it. You can attach a laser to it if you want, and you have an underbarrel attachment there, and it'll make it nice for home defense. But good luck finding a holster to fit that setup. So, in conclusion, it's a great firearm. I'm extremely happy. I'm glad I have it, and hopefully we'll be doing some more reviews and some more videos with this particular firearm. We'll take it out to the range, and we'll do some fire time with it. Hopefully in the near future. So we'll see how that goes. But I want to thank everybody for watching the video. Again, this is the Urban Patriot coming to you from the bowels of the Infidel Chronicles bunker with the Beretta M9A1. I give it 2 thumbs up. So we'll see you again. Stay strong, stay prepped, keep your eyes and ears open, and we'll see you soon.